Hi guys, in case you haven't met me yet, I'm Brenda Sue Lansdowne and I'm the owner of Bee Sue Boutiques. And I'm a content creator here at YouTube. I've done, about 630 videos so far over the last 15 years. And they're all about mixed media jewelry making, basically. But I have a lot of experience in vintage jewelry and other types of jewelry as well. So my experience is pretty broad, and I've done a number of things with it during my time. In fact, I've done, I sold vintage jewelry. I made jewelry for stores. We had lots of store accounts at one time. A supply business. I've written a book. I had my own proprietary line at one time. So many things I've done. And I just kind of thought, after 38 years doing what I do, I'd have something to share with you that could help you, that maybe nobody has thought to say, or maybe it's just not happened to them yet. Their careers are shorter than mine. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you, because I love to give my opinion. Maybe you do too. So, in the event you have an opinion and you want to say something about what I have to say, or if you have a question, please put it in the comments below, because we answer everybody. We don't leave anybody out. So please comment. You can like and subscribe as well to my channel. There's a lot to see. And there's new content every week, which is nice. Every week. There's at least one new video every week. But most of all, we need you to comment. Comments are everything. We want to engage with you. We want to hear what you have to say. We want to talk back to you. You talk to us and have a conversation. So it's fine for you to ask questions or make a comment on the description area of the video. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is something that has troubled a lot of creators, crafters, artisans, whatever, over the years. And it doesn't matter what you make. If you're a handmade artist, it doesn't matter what you make. But from time to time, your project just fails. It just flops, goes flat. And you have to consider, is it worth fixing? So my project has failed, it's flopped. Is it worth fixing? The first question I have for you is, what makes you think it's a flop? Is it really a flop? Stand back, look at it. Just because, like, for example, some people will show their work online. I sell online. Once in a while, you'll get a person come along and say something that's out of line. Like I say, you can think what you want, but you don't have to say everything you think, that kind of thing. And it kind of gets you. I mean, in my own experience, having made YouTube videos for so very long, there was a long time I did not respond to contents. I didn't even read them, because people were sometimes unkind. And I was working so hard, making so much content, that I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to hear it. I don't want to hear mean things, but sometimes you have to. It's going to happen. Maybe you're sitting at a show with your stuff, and you're so proud of it, it's all laid out, and somebody comes into your booth and they're ignorant. They're just absolutely ignorant. You know how that feels. It's happened to everybody at least once. So, like, what do? I mean, are you going to let that be a flop for you? Is that going to make you start thinking that you failed? That you have to change everything you're doing and do something else? That's the first thing I want to ask you. When you feel like you failed, projects flopped, did it really? Stand back. One of the best ways to know if a piece that you've made is pulled together properly is for you to take a picture of it with your phone. Because it's like third person, by the way. And you can look at that picture and you'll see if there's anything going on with it that's a mistake or an error, something you have to fix. Or you'll see something style-wise, design-wise, It's just not photographing right. If it doesn't photograph right, maybe it doesn't look right in person. Or maybe put the piece on. Have you tried it? Did you put it on? Did you look at what you look like in it? Okay, so maybe it's not your color. Doesn't matter. It'll give you a sense on how it's going to look on somebody else. So do those things. And don't just assume at first like, oh, this is all trash. I need to ditch it. I got to quit. This is no good. I'm fortunate, and I'll do another video about this another day because there are things to be said, but I'm really fortunate. When I first started to make jewelry, I started with $20 and did a high school tabletop show, where you just have one table and you show you things. And I have to tell you, my stuff was awful. I didn't think it was. I thought it was really cool because it was in the days of, big hair, flashy stuff, the decorated clothes and the puff paint clip, stuff was all over the place. And I was having a blast. I was using wood, I was using paper, I was using mylar tissue, just puff paint, friendly plastic, just all kinds of stuff to make these huge earrings. And I went out and did the first show because I had a whole, what I call a beer flat. It's like one of those things that pop stuff comes in cans. I think it's like this. I went full, just mounded it up. I says, well, I got to do something with this or I can't keep making it. I need to take it out in the public and show it. So I did, because I thought it was good. It was awful. But you know what? People bought it. People bought everything I brought. If I made something like that now, people would be like, what? But back then, it was more like they were just curious because we did not, in this area of Ohio where I live, have a lot of jewelry makers. And we didn't have anything like that. And they wore it. I used to go around in public and see people wearing my earrings. That's how much I sold, So that encouraged me to keep going. But maybe it's the opposite for you. You have something that's made decent and you take it out, nothing happens. People just kind of look at it and smile at you and walk by. There could be another issue. Is it priced right? If you make it too high, they're not going to buy it. One way you can tell if it's too high is go to some craft shows first before you do one. Or go on, if you're going to sell online, go on Etsy and see what other people are doing. See what things are priced. And then make sure that what you do is with trend, or at least it's something's being done now. Back in my day, the big craft was, like 30 years ago, it was plastic canvas. Any of you guys remember that? I don't even know if you can buy it anymore. It was this canvas and you just took yarn and stuff and stitched it and made patterns and bookmarks and this and that, I suppose it was fun. It wasn't for me, but that was a big deal, and people, made things like that. They made book covers and all kinds of, people bought it. They bought it. But at one time, I know the different ones who did plastic canvas, they started to become discouraged because people weren't buying it anymore. They're like, what's wrong with my stuff? It's better than ever. The problem was they didn't move along. You have to be ready to move along. If something you do is a hit, then you gotta, figure out what's going to be next. So that could be the problem. It's not in trend enough. It's not what people buy now. It's not the way people decorate, not how they dress now. Or it could be you price it too high. On the converse, if it sells like hotcakes, you might want to stand back at the end of the show and think about if you sold too cheap. Because people will buy just about anything if it's cheap. And I think that was one of the reasons why I sold a lot of my earrings, because I sold them for $2-3 a pair. I had no money into them. But you can't work like that. That's not how to succeed. But I do think that was part of it. But in time, I raised my price a little bit. They were still buying. They still liked it. But yes, it did come to a place where nobody wanted that friendly plastic stuff anymore. And I had to think, okay, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? So think about that. Not necessarily a flop. It's just like you're not in the right place at the right time. And you're asking too much or too little. If you really feel that it fell flat, ask yourself, was it your technique? Were you not neat enough? Did you not, like, for example, use resin and you didn't really know what you were doing? And it shows. If you do bench work, like you're using a jeweler's saw or a file and stuff like that, make things out of metal, or all of your places, edges, are they filed off neatly and not sharp anymore? Is something uneven? If you're making earrings, you know earrings need to mirror, and one earring needs to kind of match the other one in size. Look at your earrings and make sure they're doing that. Because if they're not, now there's one case, if you're doing asymmetric earrings, like there is, one high, one low, that kind of thing, that's okay, so long as they're done all the same color and theme. But other than that, when it's an earring, it obviously is supposed to match size. Is it doing that? Make sure. And then again, the appeal, is it going to appeal to people now in your area of the country? I used to always tell people that came to me asking for advice on what to do, I would always tell them, read Vogue magazine, because that's the future. You're going to see what's coming down the pike. But the thing is if you're not really into fashion and you're trying to learn it, that's a hard way to start. I was forgetting that I had been reading Vogue magazine for a long time, and I knew how to spot things in it that applied to me. So maybe you should spend more time looking at Etsy, that kind of thing. Print's not what it used to be anyway. You can go online, you don't have to spend any money for a book, for a magazine, nothing. It's online and you can see it for free or get a very low cost subscription, and then you'll know. Make sure the color's not weird. You can go to Pantone, 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 and right there they will tell you what the color of the year is. See what the color of the year is and bounce from that. If the color of the year is something you hate, and it happens, then see what other colors they have in the different palettes that go with it. Because I know, you have an artist's heart, so you can only bear to work with an ugly color or a color you think is ugly. Just so much. It's like, ugh. So go see what else there is. But try to be a little bit trendy as to color, because what you see in Pantone is what you're going to see in the stores that year. It's a little bit closer to reality than Vogue magazine, although Vogue goes by Pantone. Pantone is kind of for the masses, so that's what you're going to see if you go to Target. Those are the colors you're going to be focused on, say, in Target store or a store like that. Okay. Also, you can ask yourself if it's flopping, it's not working for you. Is it too big for the time? There was a point along the way in my journey when I was making all this really big jewelry, gaudy stuff. And all of a sudden, everything went to minimalist. Very streamlined. A lot of it was sterling. That's what you saw in the stores. And I was like, I don't know where I belong now. What am I going to do? Fortunately, that trend did not last long, and it came back around. There was a little bit more going on, but you need to be aware of what's going on out there. And also, if you want to know what people in your area are wearing, go to the mall and watch them walk around. Although there are not as many people in the mall anymore. Just go to a public place and watch people walk around and see what people wear in your area. One thing I learned from living here, and I had a shop for a while, and my shop did not do well. My jewelry for this area flopped, and it was because people were not into that. They hardly wore any jewelry around here, let alone art jewelry. They didn't get that. This was the wrong place for it. That stuff belonged online, not in a shop. So you have to figure out, where does my jewelry belong? Where am I going to put it where people see it and they're going to want it? What area, whatever. If you think you want to remake it, you see some glaring problems with it, and you really say this is a flop, ask yourself how long it's going to take for you to fix it or remake it. If it's going to take a long time, you might want to throw it in a box and then repurpose your own jewelry later on, which I've done many, many times. I get something, or something just doesn't sell, it's just not going, so I can either take it apart and do something else, or I can use it in a different way. I'm going to show you an example of that. I like to make these altered bottles. Can you see this good, Abby? Okay, on the front, this round piece here, this was a brooch that I made. But when I looked at that, I said, wrong time of the year to be trying to sell that, and I'm not sure. And brooches are coming back, but I don't know about this type. I don't know. And so I thought, I think I'll just put it on my bottle. So I did, and it looks very pretty there. And then, if you turn it around the back, this is a necklace that I made. Now, this was a good necklace, nothing wrong with it, but I had some segments of beading in it as it went up, that I had some beads that weren't the right color of pink, and I needed to take them out and redo it. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm just bad about fixing stuff. I would rather make something new than fix something. I'm not saying that that's a virtue, but that's me. So I saw that necklace sitting there. I says, hey, this needs something around the neck, so I have a necklace going down the back of the bottle. I'm still working on this too. I don't have the design for the top of this. They say a good thing for an altered bottle is if you can find an old drawer knob, like in crystal or something like that, that could be good. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. That's another thing. When you're making things, you don't have to decide everything today unless you're on a deadline. If you get to a place, it's looking good, but you're thinking, I'm tired and I don't know, I'm not going to just put something on there just for the sake of doing it. Let it alone. Go back to it later. You'll be better off for it. Okay, let's see what else did I have to say. So don't defeat yourself by thinking you don't have any talent, or my stuff's no good, I shouldn't have shown it. That nothing ventured, nothing gained is so true. You've got to try. Go ahead, put your stuff out there. I miss the fact that I can't do shows anymore, because I like that input, positive or negative. I like that input, and people tell me what they think of my jewelry. Fortunately, I haven't had a lot of detractors, so to speak, but I like to hear what they have to say. So if you don't do the work, it'll never work out. And sometimes you have to risk your feelings a little bit. But don't ever immediately think it was a flop, because probably 90% of the time it's not. You just need to do something a little bit differently. I hope you found this information helpful. I'll be back very soon with another jewelry making video. But I really will appreciate your comments on this one. I'd like to have that conversation with you. So please, by all means, post. I thank you so much for listening. I hope you're having a great day. And if you do jewelry and you want to see my curated collection of jewelry parts, I have a rather large one. And it's found at bsuboutiques.com online. We've had that website since '97, so we've been on the internet for a while. So I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, enough of me. Thanks for watching, and I hope you come back next time.